because it's like I mentioned earlier, a lot of veterans do unfortunately commit suicide, and I can't imagine what it's like to be in that place as a veteran. So what it depends person to person, but what can drive a veteran is to get so low and deep into that spiral, and why is it so hard for them to one seek help, and two, once they seek it, even get it?
Okay, we'll start with the first.
Yes, I was
The
seeking
why,
help.
the why.
It's a heavy question.
Yeah, we'll start with the why first. So a lot of times it's something happened in their military service that they couldn't process, and they got out and they still can't process it, and it becomes overwhelming to deal with. The other thing is like in a lot of some cases, you serve, nothing's wrong with you, you get out, and you're not used to how it works in the civilian world. I try to tell civilians, look, I ate, slept, shat, showered, ate, did everything with these group of men for years. I mean, there were no secrets. There were nothing hidden. I mean, you were going to be exposed in that ecosystem, right? And then you go away from that and you realize your civilian coworkers don't want to get close to you. You're not really supposed to, right? They don't want to hang out with you on the weekend or after work. Work is a dog eat dog world where you've got to, be willing to stab your coworker in the back to get ahead, it seems like. And so it's the exact opposite of what the military experience is. And so there's a lot of confusion there about, oh my God, what do I do? The other thing that really affects veterans that's not said enough is the aspect of divorce and custody of children. They either got divorced while they were in the military or got divorced afterwards. And, they're told, and I tell people, look, you ask why this guy's behaving this way because he went to probate court today and he found out real quick that the fact that he served in the Army and the infantry and has his combat action ribbon was held against him because he might be a threat. He might be a danger. It really happens. And so all these things, having to get out and get a job, get housing, get health care, all that stuff, it can be overwhelming. So that's some of the drivers of it. Now,
Actually, I do want to touch upon that real quick though, because for the probate court, if someone has severe PTSD, as awful as it is to lose their custody battle, at the same time, it's just I get it, right? It's a tough coin, but if someone is unstable, right? If they're waking up with night terrors and screaming and this, that, and the other, the things these people go through, that's not a suitable situation for a child. Now, granted, that military veteran needs help to be able to get their child and be with their child. They shouldn't be completely away from their child. But I can understand why a court can be like the mother, right? The mother. They should be with the mother. And
they should be. They can be with the mother. I have no problem with that. But what happens a lot of times,
they have to be with both, and there is a way to be with both. But
right, that's what I'm saying. But
I do understand it's a very tough situation to be in.
But a lot of times, what happens though is, hey, you're not going to have access to your kids at all.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And that's where the problem comes in. So to clarify that,
that's not okay.
The interest of the children should be, good and safe. But when a person wants to see their children and they're told, hey, because you have PTSD and you have problems, you can't. It's up for a lot of people. It is the final nail in the coffin. I mean, it's a problem that I've dealt with before with guys calling me up for help. It hits home. It hits close to home. So that's why I said it that way. But of course, I tell people, look, if you're not acting safe, we need to get you help before we can leave the kids alone with you. But you shouldn't be denied access to your children ever.
Absolutely not. And especially if you're going to be the system, meaning the government system, to say, hey, we're making it so you can't keep your kids because you're a threat. Well, then you're the government. You're the one making that sentence. You better do everything to make sure that person can get the help they need so they can get their kids. So it's like the burden of proof goes to both sides 1,000%. But I can't even imagine being in that situation where at least you can't your kids. And it's I totally get it. That's fucking sucks.
So it leads you to the last thing, what can be done to help? Why does the veteran get the help that's out there? Well, there's a couple of things that go on. One, they don't know what help is available to them. And two, I can tell you this because I'm going through this with the VA right now with a different situation, nothing mental, it's a physical thing, is navigating the VA system at first can be very daunting. So, and the VA just changed. They've done a couple things in the last 5 years that I really like. First of all, they have an app. You can download the app, and if you are in a suicidal state or depressed state or a state where you need help, you can load the app up, hit the red button, and you get connected to a human being to start getting help. And the law is that if a veteran comes to a VA with a mental health crisis, they are supposed to help them regardless of discharge history or whatever, right? So that's there. So things are improving. Now, some people would say, not fast enough, and you could argue that, but it's a big, huge organization. The VA is actually the largest private single entity healthcare provider in the United States, believe it or not. I mean, wow. that is a fact.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
that's actually very good to hear.
By budget and by number of patients served, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a huge monolithic organization where change takes forever, but they are trying. But I will say this, veterans, and I'm one of them, I learned real quickly, if you have an appointment, you got to go to it. If you need a ride, you got to ask for a ride. Mm-hmm. If they tell you, hey, you know what, you need to do this, this, and this, and tell me what's going on, you've got to do that. And sometimes, it can be like, oh, I don't want to go to that appointment. Ugh. You got to do it anyway. And one of the things that has really helped that along is with COVID, one of the really unintended benefits of COVID was people found out that, okay, I don't want to go into this antiseptic office in some room somewhere and feel trapped and talk to somebody. But he'll sit there, sometimes with a joint and, smoke his joint while he's talking to his healthcare or mental health care provider and do some real work. I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, but you know what? The fact that they can talk like that, whether it's just on their patio, in their car, and the VA will meet you where you're at, is what I'm trying to say. It's a really huge step forward with what
it creates an environment that's comfortable for them.
Yes.
Right? And if they're in a comfortable environment, they'll be more likely to discuss about their problems. It lets them be more responsible in their quest to get back to normal civilian life.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that explains the point I was trying to make earlier. Like, yeah, the burden is still on the veteran to get the help they need, but they should be helped in every single step of the way from the people who are taking them away from the rights they should still have.
Absolutely. So it's the least we can do as Americans to help those who serve. Absolutely. Yeah.